Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tam upaihi mahā-bhāga sādhūnāṁ cha para-ayaṇam dāsyati draviṇaṁ bhūri sīdate te kuṭumbine tam upaihi mahā-bhāho sādhūnāṁ cha parāyaṇam dāsyati draviṇaṁ bhūri sīdate te kuṭumbine tam upaihi mahā-bhāga sādhūnāṁ cha parāyaṇam dāsyati draviṇaṁ bhūri sīdate te kuṭumbine. Upaihi mahā-bhāga sādhūnāṁ cha parāyaṇam dāsyati draviṇaṁ bhūri dāsyati draviṇaṁ bhūri sīdate te kuṭumbine tam upaihi mahā-bhāga sādhūnāṁ cha parāyaṇam dāsyati draviṇaṁ bhūri sīdate te kuṭumbine. Ladies, oh ladies, no ladies, okay. Tam, him, upaihi, approach, mahā-bhāga, oh fortunate one, sādhūnāṁ, of saintly devotees. Cha and para-ayaṇam, the ultimate shelter. Dāsyati, he will give. Draviṇam, wealth. Bhūri, plentiful. Sīdate, suffering. Te, to you. Kuṭumbine, who are maintaining a family. O fortunate one, please approach him, the real shelter of all saints. He will certainly give abundant wealth to such a suffering householder as you. Om Ajnana Timirantasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrashatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savatutam Pradijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kam Shano Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakolpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Vyevana Prityanam Pavanejo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tam upaihi mahā-bhāga sādhūnāṁ cha parāyaṇam dāsyati draviṇaṁ bhūri sīdate te kuṭumbine. My dear husband, you should approach Krishna. You are lacking in wealth, but you're very fortunate, mahā-bhaga, because Lord Krishna is your personal friend. Tatra shir vijayo bhutir druvanitir matir mama. Wherever there's Krishna and Krishna's devotee, nothing will be lacking. So you're fortunate, but you should you should take advantage of your good fortune. You're over here, Krishna's over there, so you should go there, and then Krishna will see to your every need. Tam upaihi, so approach him. Mahā-bhaga, O fortunate husband. Sādhūnāṁ cha para-ayaṇam, because Krishna is sadhu-parayana. He is the shelter of the sadhus, the saintly devotees. Sādhūnāṁ hridayam mahiham, sādhūnāṁ, what is that? Do you know the verse? Hridayam tvaham, natu te, what is that? Loud, loud, loud. Madanya te vijanati nat te bhyoham managapi. I'm in the hearts of the devotees, and the devotees are therefore also in my heart. They don't know anyone but me, so I don't know anyone but them. Paratranaya sādhūnāṁ. I come to this world not so much to kill the demons, material nature could take care of that, but I come particularly to bless the pure devotees who are always Krishna parayana. Krishna parayana means like obsessed with something, always after something. So the Lord is always concerned with the welfare of the devotees, and the devotees are always concerned with the service of the Lord. So you should approach him, dāsyati, he'll give. He'll give. Draviṇaṁ bhūri. Bhūri means lots, and draviṇam means wealth. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Yagya, Dravya Yagya, there's the sacrifice of knowledge, and then there's Dravya Yagya. Dravya means stuff or wealth. So the same root is here, Draviṇam, wealth. He'll pour it on you. Bhūri, bhūri means lots and lots. He'll be very generous. sīdate te kuṭumbine, especially since you're a struggling householder. Struggling householders are the standard brand of householder in Kali Yuga. Daksha kuṭumbine. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it's said that in Kali Yuga, if a man can just maintain his household, people will say, wow, expert. He's maintaining his wife and children. Really? Yes. How does he do it? Every dog does it, every cat, every bird, they maintain their families. But for the human beings in Kali Yuga, they've complicated their lives so much that if they can maintain a wife and 1 or 2 children, people will say, expert. Expert. It's somehow become very difficult in Kali Yuga. Or otherwise, the Brahmins are always poor, so family maintenance may be a question. Maybe a question. There'll always be enough, but enough may not be a lot. And Sri means one who expands. So it seems that Sudama's wife was pushing a little, that we're really starving, and why don't you approach Krishna? He can take care of the problem. He gives himself to his devotees. So what to speak of giving a little stuff or a little wealth? He gives even himself. So what will be the problem for you? Asteduna dvarayatam bhoja vrishnandakeshvaraha smarata padakamalam atmanam apiyachati kim varta kaman bhajato nachabhishtan jagat guruhu. Lord Krishna is now the ruler of the bhojas, vrishnis and antakas, and is staying at Dwarka. Since he gives even his own self to anyone who simply remembers his lotus feet, what doubt is there that the spiritual master of the universe will bestow upon his sincere worshipper prosperity and material enjoyment, which are not even very desirable. Purport. The Brahmana's wife here implies that since Lord Krishna is the ruler of the bhojas, vrishnis and antakas, if these opulent rulers merely acknowledge Sudama as a personal friend of Krishna's, they could give him everything he required. You don't even need to ask Krishna for anything. If you just go, he'll be surrounded by the vrishnis, by the bhojas, by the antakas, and you don't even have to say anything. They'll take a look at you, they'll say, this Brahmin could use some charity. In this connection, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti comments that since Lord Krishna had at this point put aside his weapons, he no longer traveled outside his own capital of Dwarka. Thus, Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Brahman's wife said, I have heard that he never leaves his capital city, Dwarka. He is living there without outside engagements. Because otherwise Sudama may say, you want me to go all the way to Dwarka, and what if he's someplace else, fighting with the demons, carrying out on his pastime somewhere? So then I make this big trip to Dwarka and I don't even get to see Krishna. But she says, no, he's given up his weapons, he's not going out and fighting, so you go to Dwarka, he'll be there. As mentioned here, material wealth and sense gratification are not very desirable. The reason for this is that in the long run, they give no real satisfaction. Still, Sudama's wife thought, even if Sudama went to Dwarka and simply remained silent before the Lord, he would certainly give him abundant wealth, as well as shelter at his lotus feet, which was Sudama's real objective. Smarata Padakamala. You don't even have to ask for anything. You just have to think of his lotus feet. Padakamala. You even have to think of just one of his lotus feet. You just have to begin to think of Krishna's lotus feet and everything will come. You don't have to go and say, my dear Lord, because Sudama would naturally be reluctant. That, my dear Lord, I haven't seen you in such a long time. It's such a good fortune to see you. And by the way, my wife said, if you could make a donation. So naturally he'd be reluctant. But she says, you don't even have to say anything. Smaratya, smarata padakamala. Just thinking of his lotus feet is enough. Atmanam api yachati. He gives himself. Atmanam. This is the exchange. Yeyatam mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. Someone is simply thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord is thinking. He's thinking of my lotus feet. If he's thinking of money, if he's thinking of this, he's thinking of that, the Lord may give this or that. But those who are just thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord gives the highest reward. His lotus feet. Even Lakshmi can't get a place at the Lord's lotus feet. Then one may say, well, what's the use of the Lord's lotus feet? I need some money, Lakshmi's not. But if you get the Lord's lotus feet, it means you get the whole Lord. In English, this is rhetoric, this is technically called synecdoche. Synecdoche means having a part stand for the whole. For example, let's see, we might say, we need, well no, I'll use an example I used elsewhere, that 100 swords went into battle. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean that there's a battle and all of a sudden 100 swords appear there? 100 swords means the sword and the arm that's holding the sword and the whole body that's attached to the arm. So 100 swords went into battle means 100 men carrying swords. So if the Lord gives his lotus feet, then he gives everything. Now, not just I'm thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, so all I get are the feet. But attached to the feet is all the rest of the Lord and the Lord's associates, his pastimes, his entourage, his abode, his paraphernalia, everything. This is the benefit of devotional service. The Mayavadis don't do that. They don't think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Ye ravindaksha vimuktamanina tvayasta bhava avishuddha buddhaya. They're thinking that they're very advanced in spiritual consciousness. But they're thinking that they're liberated. They think that they're more liberated from the devotees because the devotees are still attached to some form, whereas they have come to the ultimate point. They've gone beyond name, beyond form, beyond everything. But avishuddha buddhaya, their consciousness is impure. Aruya krishchena param padam tataha patantyadho nadrita yushmadangraya. Even if after going through so much trouble on the impersonal path, klesho dikataras they come to the param padam, the impersonal brahmajyoti, patantyadho, they fall down again. Anadrita yushmadangraya, because just the opposite, they've neglected the lotus feet of the Lord. They don't want to think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Or even if they think of the lotus feet of the Lord, they think that the lotus feet of the Lord stand for something else. They're just symbols of something. We don't want Krishna, we want the unmanifest, impersonal something within Krishna. So even if they think of the lotus feet of the Lord, they're not exactly thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord the same way a devotee does. They're thinking that the lotus feet of the Lord will get us beyond the Lord. And the lotus feet are interchangeable. You could take Krishnas, you can take Durgas, you can take Shivas, you can take Suryas, you can take Brahmas. Because ultimately we're all going to the same beyond, so it doesn't really matter whose lotus feet we worship. But here, a devotee like Sudama is thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna, and therefore thinking of Krishna, every aspect of Krishna. If one is thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna, naturally he'll think of everything connected to Krishna. At Krishna's lotus feet, Tulsi is there. At Krishna's lotus feet, Lakshmi wanted to be there. Mahatpadam Vanyusho Murari. At his lotus feet, the whole cosmic manifestation is there. Mahatpadam, or the whole Mahatattva is there. Or the Mahatmas are there. Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim prakritimashita. Mahatpadam. So all of the great souls are at the lotus feet of Krishna. Then one may think that so many things, the glories of the Lord's lotus feet are unlimited. One may think that the gopis were seeing, here's two sets of footprints. Now there's no two, there's only one set of footprints. What must have happened? Krishna must have taken Radharani on his shoulders. In this way, picking Krishna's lotus feet, and then the whole Vrindavan is decorated with the lotus footprints of the Lord. And that means Shankha Chakra Gadapat, so many different signs are there on the lotus feet of the Lord. They go on and on, thinking of the Lord's lotus feet, and in connection with the lotus feet of the Lord's pastimes, the Lord's form, the Lord's qualities, the Lord's name, everything. And the Mayavadis are left, aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi. So smarata padakamalam atmanam api yachchati. He awards himself to the devotees. And then what to speak of artakaman of sense gratification and wealth, for the person who's worshipping him, these are na ati abhishtan, not very desirable. Not very desirable. Antavat, it has a beginning and an end. What is adyantavanta kontaya nateshu ramate buddha? Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yoni evate. Not only does it have a beginning and an end, but it causes trouble. So why should we be interested in trouble? What is that? Rajasastu palam dukkham. The happiness in the mode of passion results in suffering. So why should we be interested in these lesser things? Or na ati, a little bit we need some sense gratification. We need some wealth. Not much. Prabhupada said sense gratification is like salt. We don't say no salt, but not too much salt. So we don't say no sense gratification, but na ati, not over much. Eating is allowed, but no meat eating, no bhoga eating. Eat Krishna prasadam. Sleeping is allowed, but not too much, not too little. Nachati swapnashilasya jagrato, and I have the charge in it. Don't sleep too much, don't sleep too little. Sleeping is needed. So mating also. Mating is also accepted. We don't say no mating. But not for sense gratification, not for recreation. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi. For having Krishna conscious children, that's all. And defending. A little precaution, but not always. And Krishna is Jagat Guru, so what can you not get from Krishna? He's the controller of the cosmic manifestation. What to speak of being Andakeshwara, Bhojeshwara, who were the others? Andakeshwara, Bhojeshwara, Vrishna Andakeshwara, controller of the Vrishnis, the Andakas. He's the controller of the Vrishnis, the Andakas, the Bhojas, and the whole universe. So go to Krishna, and you'll get everything. You'll get everything. Vedeshu yagyeshu tapashu chaiva daneshu yat punya palam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaihi chaja. One who takes up Krishna consciousness, devotional service, will automatically get all the results of Vedic performances, yajna, Vedic study, yogic performances, charity, pious activities. And at the end, paramsthanam, he goes back home, back to Godhead. Okay, any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Just yesterday I was reading a purport by Srila Prabhupada, because you mentioned about salt, that it's necessary but in the right quantity. And Prabhupada was saying that material life is so unstable that even regulated sense gratification, there is every chance of fall down. One should not become attached even to regulated sense gratification. And I was wondering about that, because then it's kind of like...
It means just... it doesn't solve the problem. Now I'm married, I have no problem. I solved the sex problem, I got married. Doesn't solve the sex problem. Krishna consciousness solves the sex problem. So marriage without Krishna consciousness will still be cat and dog life and still be unsatisfying. What is that? Tripyanti neha kripana bahudukha bhaja. The mean-minded householders, they'll try for enjoyment by sense gratification. But tripyanti neha, they'll never be satisfied. And instead, bahudukha bhajam, they'll just multiply their miseries. What is that? Beginning of the verse? Yan maitunari grihamedi sukham hitucham. The happiness, maitunari, that comes from sex, grihamedi sukha, the happiness of the materialistic householders, is tucham. Tucham means insignificant. What is that? About the Goswamis? Yeah. What's the beginning? Mandala Patishwanim Sada Tuchchava. Chaktva Turnamashesha Mandala Patishwanim Sada. What is that? Tuchchava. They had aristocracy, wealth, everything. But they give it all up as insignificant. Tuchchava. As if it were nothing. As if it were nothing. Bhutva dina graneshiko. What is that? Krudanaya gopina kantashita. They became beggars. But gopi bhavarasamrita abdilahari. Kalola magnomo. They were swimming in the ocean of love of Godhead. Otherwise, they might have gone to Vrindavan and thought, oh man, we used to be big men. We had so much facility, comfort. Women we could have had as much sex as we wanted. Because when you have money, then you can have women. What are we doing in here in Vrindavan, dressed in these rags? What have we done? Maybe we could go back and get our old jobs back. Speak to Hussein Shah, apologize. But there was no question of that, because they were absorbed in thinking of Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna. They become like madmen, obsessed with Krishna. So they didn't even need regulated sense gratification. They had unregulated sense gratification. Raghunath Das Goswami would take some buttermilk now and then. Not even regularly. No, it's time for my buttermilk. No. Every now and then he'd remember I should take something. Practically forgot what to speak of sex. They practically forgot about eating. And forgot about sleeping. It's not, Prabhupada said, it's not that they took a vow, we're going to reduce our sleep. They just were too busy, they forgot. They were too absorbed, writing books, talking about Krishna, something, worshipping their deities, they were absorbed. So we can't imitate Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. But we can try to follow in their footsteps, that's all. So for the brahmacharis, there's no sex life. For the grihastas, hardly any sex life. But that's only possible when there's Krishna consciousness. What is that? Sannyasastu mahā-bhāho dukkhamaptum ayogataha. If one isn't Krishna consciousness, if one isn't Krishna conscious, ayogata, if he's not linked up with Krishna, then his renunciation will simply be miserable. Oh man, I can't have this, I can't have that, I can't have that. Sannyasastu mahā-bhāga, mahā-bhāho dukkhamaptam ayogata. Then what is the rest? Munir Brahma Achirena Nigacchati. Sannyasastu mahā-bhāga dukkhamaptam ayogataha. Something Munir Brahma. Yoga yukto Munir Brahma. But for one who's Krishna conscious, yoga yukta, muni, thoughtful, sober person, nachirena adhigacchati. He attains Krishna very quickly. Nachirena, not after a long time. So simply regulating sense gratification won't work. One has to become Krishna conscious. Sanat Kumar also said the same thing. What is that? Yat pada pankaja palasha vilasha bhaktya. What's the rest? Karmashayam grananti. The meaning is that the yogis try to stop the waves of sense gratification, which are coming one after another. And they don't do it very well. It's very difficult. But pada pankaja palasha vilasha bhaktya, for by devotional service to the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, one automatically overcomes so many material desires. Bhajavasudevam. Therefore one should engage in Krishna consciousness. Yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena adhigacchati. Not simply regulating sense gratification. One should regulate sense gratification. What is that? Yukta hara viharascha, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna vibodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. The Krishna consciousness is possible for a person who's regulated. One can get freed from all miseries by that kind of regulation. Elsewhere it's said in that same section, Natyanashnatas yogosti nachaikantam anashnataha. Yes. Nachati swapna shilasya jagrato naivacharvina. Same thing. One has to regulate eating, sleeping, but simply regulating is not the point. One has to become Krishna conscious.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yogakshemam vahamiham. But in this case, it appears till this point, he was not taken care. Sudama was not taken care.
He was, Sudama, at this point, Sudama...
Up till this point, Sudama was not taken care, it appears.
He was taken care, he wasn't dead. Somehow he was getting something. And it was arranged so that shrinking, now it's become a crisis. What are we going to do? You better go to Krishna. So someone may say, well, Krishna wasn't taking care of him. No, Krishna was taking very good care of him. Reducing. Now what are you going to do? Well, I'm not going to do anything. No, my wife's pushing me, I'll go to Dwarka. Those who are getting more are being punished. The materialists, even physically speaking, they get more food. What do? They eat more. So they have to go carry around, so many kilos of fat. and their heart has to work more, and all their organs have to work more, and they have to go to the doctor more often, and the doctor tells them, "Sir, you need to lose weight." But he can't lose weight because atyahara, he's attracted to eating more. His adanta gopi, his senses are uncontrolled. So he makes himself miserable because he's got too much to eat. And then he can't sleep because he's so full that he gets indigestion. Or else he does sleep, he sleeps too much and becomes miserable that way because he's so full of food. Or now he's got lots of money, so he can enjoy more sex and all the anxieties that go with that. He can have an overcomplicated way of life and suffer more. The person who is enjoying is using up his stock of pious credits. The person who's suffering is burning off his stock of impious activities. Of course, for a devotee like Sudama, there's no question pious or impious. But his suffering was arranged in such a way that the outcome is that he would have to go to Dwarka and meet Krishna. Yogakshema Vahamyam. And he didn't have to go to Dwarka and ask for a whole lot of stuff and then rent some bullock carts and bring it all back. Vahami, Krishna carried everything. Free delivery. Anything else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, when we say that Krishna knows, a devotee knows only Krishna and Krishna knows only his devotees. So what do we understand by this? Because we, on physical level, we see that devotees know so many other people also.
No, knows means not interested. Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagadisha. It's not that he doesn't know anybody else. Not that he doesn't know anybody else. Who are you? He can't remember anyone's name because he became a devotee. But it means that he's not interested in buttering up any fat cat materialist. Oh, Mr. Such and Such. He's not interested in flattering the materialists. Durmadandan. He's not interested in material advantage. He's Krishna para-ayaṇam. Vasudeva para-ayaṇam. He's simply interested in Krishna. Even the gopis, they recognized they were chasing after Krishna, and Krishna is running away. Then they're catching up. So Krishna took the form of Narayan, four-handed. So then the gopis caught up, and they saw, it's Narayan. They knew who he was. Oh, Lord Narayan, Namo Namaste, Namo Namaste. Have you seen Krishna? And they recognized him, but they weren't interested. Where they were interested, sir, can you tell us where Krishna is gone? Simply interested in Krishna. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, Acharya ji. I wanted to clarify that the Bhakti Yoga and the Karma Yoga, what are the differences and significance on Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga?
It depends on the context, but generally Karma Yoga means material activities with some coating of bhakti. You add some bhakti and you have Karma Yoga. And pure Bhakti Yoga means nothing else mixed. Karma, Jnana Karmadya Navritam. So that's one meaning. But there are other meanings. What's your context? In what context are you asking? In general, that's not a context. Or another meaning of karma yoga Prabhupada uses means working for Krishna. Karma means work or action, and when you do it for Krishna, that's karma yoga. That's another meaning. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, thank you. You give the example of salt that you can't do without, but a little bit too much is treacherous. So, Pravritti Marg, many people advocate Pravritti Marg without actually understanding what Pravritti Marg is. Even amongst devotees, they say, just go for it, and then when you get tired of it, you'll get over it. But I just went to the Dead Sea, and there's a lot of people who die every year because they actually ingest some of that salty water, and it kills them.
Yeah.
So could you say something on how that can happen
Your
to
Pravritti Marg
devotees?
doesn't mean enjoy like a pig. At least it shouldn't for those who are serious about spiritual life. Pravritti means that, all right, you require a higher quota. You're not going to remain brahmachari. Brahmachari means sense gratification is really down. Sex, no, forget it. We don't need it. No salt diet. And householder means, no, we want some company of wife, children. All right. But that's not higgly-piggly. It's not an unlimited license for sense enjoyment. And the more we get, the more we'll enjoy. And the quicker we do it, the quicker we'll renounce. Then America would be full of sannyasis because they're all enjoying like pigs, and after a short while they'd all realize that this doesn't work. But no, into their 70s and 80s and 90s, they're still trying to enjoy. So that higher quota of sense gratification means a little bit, not unlimited. In the householder life, there's not an unlimited, just like you get a license. In India, do you get a driver's license, or can you just drive? Even in India, you need a license to drive. Okay. To drive this way and that way. So you get a license, but you can't do anything with that license. In America, the laws are more strict. You can only drive on one side of the road. You have to do this, you have to do that. They're quite particular about their driving laws. Europe also, they're quite particular. So they give you a license, but it doesn't mean now you have a license, you have a car, you can do anything. You still have to follow the laws. Not that now I've got a license, I can do anything. License means you can do some things. Any license, builder's license, restaurant license, any kind of license. License doesn't mean, I've got a license. And you break the law right and left, and then you come into court and say, but I had a license. License means restriction. That's what the license is. Without the license, nothing, and with the license, something. But not everything. So, a marriage license is not a license for licentiousness. It's not a license for unlimited sense gratification. It's not that the wife is a machine for sense enjoyment, and now I've got a license, I push the button and I get sense enjoyment as much as I like. That's cat and dog life. That's not householder life. The householders are also supposed to be following some rules and regulations. And if they think, well, we don't really need these, this is over strict, this is, there's the standard, and then there's the strict standard. There's a standard, and the more we disregard the standard, the more we'll be unhappy. There is, in Bhagavatam, there is the philosophy that if you pig out, you'll become renounced. In, I believe it's 7th canto or someplace, there's instruction that you should live like this according to this regulation: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. And for those who are below that, below Shudra, below everything, this recommendation is given: just pig out. Just stuff yourself. Just enjoy to an unlimited extent till you burn out. Eat till you vomit. But that's not the high standard. That's not the advice for the intelligent person. For those who can't take any other advice, no, I got it. All right, pig out. Enjoy as much as you, like Prabhupada told that to one disciple. The disciple was trying to push, and Prabhupada told him, no, my advice to you is that you should enjoy sense gratification. But Prabhupada, no, you should enjoy sense gratification. Because Prabhupada knew that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he was going to do no matter what. So Prabhupada said, no, you should enjoy sense gratification. The long, slow, miserable road. Because you're such a fool that I'm showing you the short road and you're refusing to take it. Couldn't we? Yes, take the long road. But that's not for the intelligent person. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for an excellent class. We get two analogies in the path of purification. One analogy is that when we sweep a dirty room which had been dirty for a long time, then in the cleaning process, the dirt gets unsettled and the room looks more dirty than before. That's one analogy. And another analogy we get in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, where Srila Prabhupada writes that bhakti floods the whole field of heart in such a way that though all the impurities of and anarthas are there in the heart, but those seeds don't fructify because they don't get the favorable environment to fructify. So they become neutral and they die in the flood of Krishna consciousness. Now, when we see in our life, we see the first analogy more happening than the second one. At times, second one is prominent, but there are more times when the first one is there.
Second one takes time also. It's not just that you let the water in and now the seeds don't work. You have to flood the place. Or another example is fried seed. It also doesn't fructify. But you can't just hold it a little bit above the fire. You have to fry it. And when it's fried, then it won't give anything. So choose your example. But the idea is that there must be Krishna consciousness. And when there's Krishna consciousness, then finally karmani nirdahati kintuja bhakti vaja. There won't be any more material reactions. There will only be spiritual engagement in the service of Krishna. Is that okay?
In the beginning, then the first example is more relevant. And in the later stage...
Examples are all relevant. It's not like, this is the example for the beginners. This is the example. they're just examples are given at all stages to give different ideas. So if the question is, why is there still so much dust around? Well, because it takes time to clean the dusty room. If the question is, how can we have all this stuff and still be Krishna conscious? You fry it or you drown it. So the examples are good for everyone. Okay, shall we stop here? Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.